Hello everyone, it's Christina from Christina's Art Corner. Today I'd like to do a watercolor with me, hence the title of this book here. So I figured I would title the video the same. I have 3 watercolor with me books by Dana Fox, and I thought we would go ahead and start in this book. I do have some new paints that I thought we would try too. They were sent to me by Grabie, and so we're going to unbox these and see what's in them. Cute packaging. And we got a little sticker here. All right. Let's see if that's enough. Yes. All right. So in the set, it says 50 watercolors are included, an exclusive detail paintbrush, a Grabie exclusive water brush pen, an art sponge, and a watercolor swatch sheet. Look at this cute little box. Silver box. And looks like here's our brushes. And we have a plastic topping over top. I guess you could mix colors on that. And here are all the colors we have to work with. And here is the art sponge. I guess they give you little palette areas. Here is a brush. We can try that out, of course. And this water brush here, it seems a little thick and wide, but we're gonna give it a try. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just gonna fill it up with my handy dandy water bottle. All right. Okay. So we have that loaded. And then I'm going to go ahead and wet these paints. Oh, and inside here we have a bunch of brushes. I didn't realize they were sending these. That's pretty cool. Where is the opening? There we go. Okay, so we have a Grabie number 1. So we have that tip there. That's pretty cool. I wasn't expecting the extra brushes. We have a 00. See that there. And then we have a 0. Now it says it has a swatch. Ah, there it is. There's the swatch card. So I think we should probably start out with the swatch card. What do you think? I'll put this up here and bring it over. Get rid of any garbage we don't need. I'll use this in case I need to mix colors. All right, so let's try out one of their brushes. And let's go with the number 3 to do it. And let's get a towel that we can do a little dab if we need to. Okay. So just want to arrange it the way that it is in the case. So it looks like here we're starting out with yellow ochre, yellow gray, burnt umber. So we'll go that direction. And I'll just put a little more water. So let's start out with this yellow ochre. And I'm just going to take a little water to drag it over. There we go. Okay, so here are our swatches. They came out nicely. So we have that as a guide as we go into the books. So it says acorns have a lot of texture to them. Using shadows, highlights, and lines to mimic that look is what you'll try to do here. By using different shades of brown, you'll create layers of wet on dry washes to really build up those darker areas. The bottom half of the acorns should appear streaky, like the texture of a real acorn. And the colors, it says to use a yellow ochre, which we have here, a raw umber, which we have here, and a burnt umber, which we have here. It says a round brush size 6 would work well. My stash here, and see what 6 we have. Here's a 6. All right, because we'll go by the instructions. All right, this is a Princeton 6 round. 3 colors of paint, we have that. Okay, so working on the bottom half of the acorns first, fill the areas with a light wash of raw umber mixed with yellow ochre. All right. Raw umber and yellow ochre mix. So we're going to do that. Okay. So we have our yellow ochre. Put a little bit of that in there. Get a little more water. And it said raw umber, yeah. Raw umber is the 4th one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're supposed to mix these like so. Just make sure I've got enough paint here. Oops, I'll dip into the wrong one. Okay. Okay. So we have our first color, and it says do a wash. And fill the bottoms of the acorn. So I want to make sure, since it's a wash, that we have enough water in here. Okay, so let's start out. Now it doesn't say how high up into the acorn to go. It's going to want us to have a second layer. So I think we're going to go all the way up. Okay, got the first one done. Now we're going to go into the second one and create our wash here. I'm trying to move quickly so we don't get any lines. It says it wants it to be textured, and it looks like we're getting some texture on that first one I did. Got a little bit out of the lines there already. All right. Okay, so it says let this dry and then do a second layer. After a few minutes, once dry, add a second wash of the same color. Try to mimic the streaky texture of an acorn by painting light lines from the top of the area to the bottom point. Add another layer using burnt umber around the bottom, top, and sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and get some burnt umber, which is this one here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it in here so we have it ready. I'm going to pause for a second and take a hair dryer so that we can move on to the next layer. Okay, we're back. After a few minutes, once dry, add a second wash of the same color. Try to mimic the streaky texture of an acorn by painting lines from the top of the area to the bottom point. All right. So we're going to take this same color, and I think I'm going to mix a little more. Okay. All right, let's see what we come up with. So we're going to take streaky lines from the top to the bottom. Okay, there's our streaky lines on the first one. Just gonna make that a little thicker here. Okay. All right, there's our streaky lines. All right, there we go on the streaky lines. Paint light lines from the top to the bottom. Okay, add another layer using burnt umber around the bottom, top, and sides of the acorn. You can blend any harsh edges out with water. So we'll start on this one since it's a little drier. Okay, so it wants us to go top, edges, and bottom. Okay. All right. Let's do the same to the next one. All right. So we're definitely getting some texture in there. Now that that part is done, okay, add another layer using burnt umber around the bottom, top, and sides. You can blend any harsh edges out. Fill the acorn tops with a light wash of burnt umber and then apply additional layers as you did previously, darkening the shadowed areas such as the center and the tops. All right. So we need burnt umber. And that was this one here to do the top. Well, it doesn't mention anything about the stem. Okay, we have our light wash. And it wants us to continue. Fill the acorn tops with a light wash. We did that with the burnt umber. And then apply additional layers as you did previously, darkening shadowed areas such as the center, the sides, and the tops. So the center, tops, and sides. All right. Now Center, sides, and tops. Let the previous layer dry once again and create a scale-like pattern in the top of the acorns. Okay, with a thin brush tip and burnt umber. Try to keep the paint lighter in areas where the paint is lighter and darker where the shadows have formed. Fill in the acorn stems with burnt umber when you're done. So we're going to use burnt umber alone. Again, it's a lot of, seems like a lot of, this burnt umber is very orangey. And it doesn't want to wash, so we're going to make this a little thicker in here with just a tad of water, more water. Okay. And we need a smaller brush. So we need a pattern. Maybe we'll go in with the 0. It looks like we need to make like a diamond. Well, let's go in with some diagonals. How about that? Go over on this end and start making some diagonals this way. Okay. Now let's start going in on another diagonal. Okay. All right, minus my big blobby line there. I think that fill in the acorn with stems with this. I think that I would want, and I think I may go ahead and do it. Just get a little more water on here and use this brush. I think I want a little more of the burnt umber color. just below, because it didn't really come out after drying. I think that looks a little better. And then I'm gonna make this a little darker, the stem. I'm just fooling with it now. Try to give it a finished look. Darken this line underneath. Oh, too much water. Way too much water. Yikes. Okay, I'm actually gonna go in with the yellow ochre and just get in between some of these lines. Yeah, I think that looks much better. Because, you know, depending on the paints that you use and like, I feel like these acorns are a little orange. What do you think? I think even I'm gonna dip into the raw umber just to give these stems, because you know it's a guide what they're giving you. But I think these need darker stems. I think that looks better already. And then we have a little highlight left in there from the burnt umber. So let me go dry it up real quick and let's see what the finished product is. Okay, so here are my thoughts. So I was going based upon Grabie's color swatch, and based upon the colors that they're given here. Okay, so even though we did use a yellow ochre, a raw umber, and a burnt umber, I really think these two are flipped on the Grabie palette, because if you look here, the raw umber matches the burnt umber better, and the burnt umber matches the raw umber better. I mean, not exactly. And then we have the yellow ochre. So if I were to do this again, I will definitely match it based on what they have here, because the acorns turned out pretty well, right? But the color is just too yellow. That's just too yellow. Yeah. But they did turn out cute. But we're going to know for next, because look at the difference. That I think we could have gotten really close to this had I gone solely based on the colors here. And that's probably what they intend for you to do, but being a new palette, not really wanting to follow the directions, but also going by the names that they put on the palette. I would definitely suggest going by the book and then finding your color in your palette, whatever you use. So let's put this one to the side. And let's go in to In the Jungle by Dana Fox. And we're going to do, all right, we're going to do a hibiscus. Okay, so let's try to color match this a little better. I'm going to change my water, okay? So here we have a hibiscus, and we're going to try to match some colors here. So I'm thinking actually, I think I'm going to go with the orange yellow. One, two, three, four, five on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. All right. And then it wants a permanent rose. So if we try to match that pink, I think the closest I have here is the pink. Yeah, let's go with that pink. So that is third from the top. Let's put that in here. Oh. Okay. So there's our pink, and then we need an indigo. So let's see if the indigo is matching. Yeah, it definitely is. I will have to make sure I have plenty of water on that one. And indigo is sitting at the third. place. Oh. Why do I keep wanting to like take it from the swatch? What is going on? Let's just do fresh water because that's what we should be doing anyway. Right? Should not be dipping in to dirty water. And I'm just going to get a little more pink so I don't feel I have enough. And let's give that a shot of water too. All right. Probably have to do the same thing to the yellow, but we'll see. Fill in one of the single petals using clean water only. We need clean water. We shall do that. Okay, here is our clean water. So we're good there. Fill in one of the single petals using clean water only. While the paper is still damp, drop some permanent rose into the inside portion of the petal and allow it to blend toward the top. Let's give it a try. Let's do this one. Okay, so it says drop some permanent rose into the inside portion. From here, I'm assuming they mean. Okay. I'm going to help that along. All right, I wonder if that's going to be enough though, because it kind of goes up into here. Allow it to blend toward the top. Okay. While the paint is still wet, drop. I'm gonna have to make sure this is still wet. Drop the yellow onto the top edge of the petal using the tip of the brush to carefully shape the outside edge. Okay. Coax the two colors together. I think I'm going to have more pink here in order to do that, to coax. And I'm going to need Oops, went into my clean water. Okay, now I'm going to coax the blend. Okay. All right. Repeat it on each petal. Let them dry before you move on to the next. So I'm gonna take a blow dryer. Okay, so we had a blow dryer, bit of a disaster here that I'm gonna try to fix. I tell you what, we're gonna start from the beginning and pull this pink up as far as we can go. Okay. It is still a little wet from the dryer, so all right. Dirty water, clean water. And then I'm gonna take the, did I decide on the orange yellow or the permanent yellow? Orange yellow. Now I'm gonna go around the top again. And I'm having to do it a little different than it asked me in the beginning because we have a little bleed through here. Tried to get it off the best I could. And then I'm gonna re-wet the in-between and try to coax those colors together. Go down here since that one is wet. And we're gonna go with the pink. And it looks like we started here. And then we're supposed to get a blend going. Okay, now encourage the blend. And then this portion here will be the indigo. Take the indigo. Okay. With the flower dry, paint swift strokes of the same colors onto each petal, finishing by adding a few dots to the stamen tip with the white pen. Okay, we're going to move on to putting in some of these details here with the Zero brush from Grabie. And let's go in with, let's see here. Let's get some water going in there. All right. So we're gonna follow the lines, it looks like. I might go right into the pan here. Get some concentration of color. Okay. We've got a line coming in here. Now I think what I'm gonna do is go into a darker pink. This rose powder is one that I'm going to just see if I can darken up, because if you notice here on the painting, it needs to be a little darker. So I'm just gonna see if I can get that going here a little bit. And we have the stem. Let's just bring some lines out here. I think that's doing a good job. Get some flicking action here. Okay, I think that's looking good. And then we need a little more of an orange, and I'm going to get a little bit of that so we can define these areas here. And then I might go in with some white gel pen. Okay, and then just gonna darken up a little bit of this indigo. Okay, I'm just going to dry that, and then we're going to do a little bit of white gel pen. Alrighty, so let's see what we have here, what's primed and what's not. Working one. So I'm going to go with the dot pattern that we have here and just get a lot of dots here. There we go. There's a couple little indications of highlights. Okay, so I think we're finished. I think we did a good job. Maybe I could try to cover up some of my mistake here. So there we go. I'll zoom you in on the edit so that you can see that, but I think we did a pretty good job. Definitely a matter of learning the color of paints that you have, and obviously these techniques will get easier as you go along, for sure. So we will let this one dry. And now let's do one in Watercolor With Me in the ocean and see what we can get here. Don't think I'll do the turtle because that might take too long. Let's do the whale. In fact, I had marked that to do. So we have a cerulean blue hue. Let's see what kind of color match we have here. So I think I could go with the lake blue, which is this third one here. And then it shows indigo. So we're heading into indigo again. All right. So let's see what we need to do. Begin by wetting the entire top half of the whale using your round brush. So it's saying around 6. All right, so we want to wet the entire top. Looks like the fin is included too. All right, and then it wants to go with a very light wash of cerulean blue, and we have chosen the lake blue. There we go. And it wants a wash, so I'm going to make sure to put a little more water. in there so we can get that. Okay, that's one layer of wash. While it's still damp, brush indigo along the top edge of the body, the fin, and the face. So that answers the question about this fin. And this is the indigo. Add another swipe of indigo along the bottom damp edge of the flipper. Looks like we are also doing this portion here. Okay. Once everything is dry, apply another wash to the underbelly of the whale. Okay. So what I'm going to do is going to take, because we're on film and so I don't have to take a bunch of breaks, I'm going to go in and I'm going to copy the picture now. So that's the cerulean. And then we have cerulean on the underbelly. In this case, Lake Blue. Do the same over here. Some of that cerulean blue is going underneath. Okay. Now we have some of this going into the And then it's basically saying repeat until you get the color that you want to achieve. I'm taking off a little bit of the pigment as it shows in the picture. There we go. And then there's a few little spots. I probably will go over with an acrylic pen. See, they get easier as you go. And I think I need to get this lighter color going a little bit more. Because there's a darker nose. Definitive line. There we go. Okay. I think that one's looking sharp. All right, let me dry it and come back. All right, I just want to go in and define the eye. So I'm going to take one of my Faber-Castell pens and do that. Okay. Now the way that it's pictured and the way that it is different here. So I will do my best. As far as the white, might do a few little indications here that they show. Okay, I think we're finished. I think we did all three, and I'll zoom you in on the edit so that you can see. But that was fun. So that was a few hours of watercolor. Granted, because it was the beginning, starting the book, reading the directions, I think from now on I could take some of the directions and then eyeball. I'm more of a doer than a reader when it comes to art. So if I had probably planned that out to begin with, then I might have had a little easier time as far as minimizing the time that I did spend on them. But I think these are great books, fantastic books. It will be nice to go through all these. And if you'd like for me to continue a series of doing these, and I won't do 3 at one time next time, but I thought in order to give the paints, you know, a proper go and to see how they work, they seemed real nice. I didn't wind up using the water brush or this paintbrush since they very nicely included these, but I do appreciate them reaching out to me to try these out, both the paints and the brushes. And you do get a nice selection of colors to use. You could use any palette, of course, in the watercolor books, but I think this does have a great variety of what you need. And as far as mixing the colors and getting what you want, I could have probably spent more time to get more exact with the colors, but this was a trial and error. And there were for sure a couple of errors, but I think overall we have a progression of how it went. The flower's not my favorite, but I think we did salvage the flower. I think it's looking really cute now that it has some detail. And here are the acorns. And then I'll just bring this up for a closer look. And there's the whale, the humpback whale, with a little hair, maybe a little splatter of paint. But yeah, I think these are really wonderful workbooks, if you will. And there's Water with Me in the ocean, in the jungle, and in the forest. And I think that these are great paints for you to start out doing something like this, for sure. For the cost, it's worth it. And they are allowing me to give you all a discount code. It's Kristina, Kristina 15. You get 15% off. And I'll include the links below. And I hope this has been an enjoyable, maybe start of a series on my channel. I do plan maybe to go much quicker next time. This was just, hey, to see how it works out, start these books. I've been saying I've wanted to do it, so I just thought, let's just go ahead and lay some color down and see what we come up with. And I think we did get some good results. It's a learning process. Watercolor isn't a medium that I started out ever using. I was kind of an acrylic girl before I started doing adult coloring. Metallic watercolors I have down. But as far as blending and taking color off and doing all of the things that it teaches you to do, the wet on wet, the ink and wash, the wet on dry, it teaches you all those things. So I think it would be nice to do that together. And if you have this book and you want to do it with me, that would be fantastic. All 3 of the books. So I hope it's been informational. I hope it's been fun to watch. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. You all take care and happy coloring or watercoloring to you. Bye-bye now.